And whenever you get into that state of overflow, everything's gonna start aligning and everything's gonna maybe start to feel easier. Opportunities or things that you have on your to-do list are gonna start getting done by your family members or your partner or the people in your life, just because of you being in the state of overflow. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Today we're gonna be talking about overflow and the power of overflow. So first things first, to talk about this, I'm gonna take 2 cups. So this is our first cup. We're gonna imagine, obviously there's some water in here, it's my morning water, but we're going to imagine that the cup is right at the top, right? And if we keep filling the water to the top of the cup, what's gonna happen? We're gonna have stuff spill out of it, right? So this excess water that's spilling out and coming down here is gonna be caught by our second cup. So we're imagining that this is us throughout this video. As we go through life, as we go through things, as we go through our day, us being that cup and the water inside of it being our energy, we might get more depleted and we might have energy start splashing out of the cup or pouring out of the cup. And maybe we have days where we're literally, giving that last drip of water to work or family or friends or someone that you care for. So ways for us to start building that back up is really, really important, because a lot of people say, or a lot of people feel like society tells us that we need to put ourselves last, especially women. We're brought up to, serve everyone first, make sure everybody eats first, and then we eat last. That's the reason that Papa Bear's food is hot, baby's is just right, and mom's was always cold, right? Because she was always taught to put herself last. Putting yourself last actually is more selfish, because your ability to help people and your ability to make a transformational impact in your child's lives and the people that you work with lives, the people around you, your friends and your family, is when you're in that state of overflow. So what I challenge you to do, if you're interested in trying to get to this state, is make a to-do list. You can honestly just make a book with all of my video contents, and every single page you can put down the different exercises. So in one of my videos, I had you make a to-do list that was kind of like a safeguard for your attitudes, things that you like to do, things that would build you up, in my Don't Crash Out video. So here, we're not on that line of crash out or feeling depressed, things like that, but maybe we're just feeling not ourselves today, or maybe we're just having an off day or a bad day. And that same list could be applied, or we can make a new list. On this day, maybe we want to read a book, or maybe we want to take the day off, maybe we want to listen to a podcast or go take a walk, things like that. So also, things that build up our cup are things that are in our daily routine. So are you working out consistently? Are you reading and educating yourself? When you look at the wheel of life, are you happy in all of those areas? Are you fulfilling yourself in all of those areas? Because there's jobs that we can have that fill our cup up, and then there's jobs that we can have that deplete the cup, right? There's different friendships that we can have that fill our cup up. By interacting with that friend, we're getting, energy charge, and we're feeling better, and maybe we're getting some grounding or some companionship out of whatever interaction that we're going through, and that's what helps build that cup up. So our goal is to keep building up until it starts overflowing out. And the reason that we want that overflow to happen is that way, that's what everybody else is getting. So if this is everybody else and this is you, and the overflow is coming out because you're filling yourself up with your morning routine, your skincare routine, you're going to the gym, you're reading your books, whatever you need to do, you're listening to your podcast, you're having a family dinner night, you're having your FaceTime with your bestie, whatever it is that you need to do, you're taking trips to New York, okay? You're filling up your cup. That way, whenever you go through things in life and it knocks out a little, you're still right here. You're not all the way down here where this water is, okay? Also, when you interact with people, you're not pouring out of this cup. You're not pouring into other people. You're normally giving them the overflow because you're so full that the overflow is only what's available to go to everybody else because you're full. So now, knowing this, we're gonna just kind of talk about everyday interactions. If you are reaching out to a friend or a family member and you're not hearing back, you're kind of internal feeling of how you feel if you're in a state of overflow is not going to be as maybe negative or kind of missing. The thoughts that you may find yourself having are, oh, well, they must be busy and I'm sure they'll get back to me when they can, or maybe right now it's not a good time for them to message me back. Maybe they didn't even see my message. But whenever we have poured from the cup and not from the overflow, thoughts may sound like, she intentionally didn't text me back. Oh, well, I see that they're on social media and they have time for that, but they don't have time for me. Other thoughts may be like, just kind of getting you into a more negative space, because the way that energy works, your soul, your heart, your body, it's missing that energy, it's lacking that energy. And sometimes whenever we are pouring from the cup, from down here into other people, we need to receive back, right? Because we poured out and now we're down here, so we're looking around to receive back into our cup. But the only person who can really, well, not the only person who's in charge of filling your cup up is you. Obviously, your friends, your family, interactions with people, interactions with anyone can really fill your cup up. But if your cup's not getting filled up, if it's not close to a state of overflow, then when you have those interactions with other people, you're going to miss that energy. Ways to get to overflow. You have to know thyself. Knowing thyself is so important, okay? If you need to study yourself, if you need to ask yourself questions, you can Google questions, you can go on Pinterest, you can use ChatGPT, even though I'm like super anti-AI. Basically, the answers to all those questions on how to fill your cup up, you have the answer to, and nobody's gonna have the answer to them besides you. So if you feel like you're unsure of those answers, or you feel like you don't even know the questions to ask, you can Google questions, you can look on Pinterest, or you can maybe find even some shadow work questions for you to get to know yourself just a little bit better. That way you know what's filling up your cup. Because if right now you know that interacting with your sister or your best friend fills your cup up, but you don't know why, that's something you want to self-study and get to the bottom of. That way you can better take care of yourself. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you guys so much. See you in the next one.